We are live.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Bulls Beer and Banter.
Namaskar.
We are waiting for the third.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Sat Sri Akal.
Good
Adab.
afternoon. Shabha khair.
Shabak hai.
हाँ.
Good afternoon.
और क्या बोल सकते हैं? Is it a good afternoon
¿Cómo
for markets?
estás?
Good afternoon for markets.
It's okay.
Bank led. HDFC, ICICI,
With the
Kotak.
number of shorts in the system as per your story, Sajeet,
Yeah.
if
Covering तो होना है.
more banks and some other good results come in, then
We may, but there is a resistance at 25,100 calls. वहीं पर है. पर बैंक.
वो cross हो गया तो 200 हो जाएगा. वो cross हो गया
when
तो
I
300
was
हो जाएगा.
writing that story, I was looking at the numbers for Nifty Bank open interest because वहाँ पर काफी shorts directly होता है, right? And unfortunately वहाँ पर उतने shorts नहीं build हुए जितने हम means the way I saw shorts building up in Nifty futures. 60% of the total Nifty open interest held by FPIs, and of that 85% are in short. That was
85% of the FPI position short है.
short है Nifty futures में.
Okay.
And that's what was alarming in that sense. It's that's the highest since this January. January. Even from a point of view of total open interest in Nifty futures, it's the highest in Jan 28. So there is a lot of short position getting built up going to the
So I was
weekend.
thinking, why? Is it going into expiry, or is it that people believe that if the trade deal is not happening, then it might be negative for markets?
Could be because the rhetoric for trade deal is now getting little louder and serious from the other side, saying that come what may, August 1 they're going to send the letters, and you have to follow the letter. And I think India has been holding off so far this time. What I heard, I think I read in one of the newspapers as well, that we may go for a tiered structure for agri, which basically means that up to a certain thing we will not give you, we will allow you zero or minimum tariff, and after that the tariff structure goes up like a quota system of how it is coming from the US. But I don't know how much it is going to be, because that's something which we are not very in favor of, because we are our thing was that we are willing to negotiate on everything except agri and dairy, simple as that. So I think there was going to be some kind of there. And earnings so far has been not so great, except for some banks. ICICI was just stand out for me actually. Means we expected HDFC Bank, to be muted, but it also came up decent numbers actually. Only the NIMs were, I think, Harsh was telling me that NIMs were 11 bips down because it was little higher than expected.
So
that's-
banks, well, HDFC, ICI, okay, but the likes of Axis,
Yeah.
Bandhan, AU, etc., not the best.
Yeah.
Reliance, not the best. IT, Home, but cement is good, by the way.
So Ultratech is coming today, so
Yeah,
we'll get to
cement is
get a hang of how cement numbers are looking. But from what the numbers have been, I think volumes are okay and price hikes are there. So realization go up, jump is expected in cement, which is little. We are in a monsoon quarter, right? In that sense,
Yeah.
and despite that, you will be able to see some kind of better information on cement coming in, and Ultratech will give you that indication going forward. So that's something which is important.
Yeah, there's one thing that I just thought I will. So, by the way, RBL said that margin recovery and loan repricing will aid FY26 exit guidance. So, that was kind of okay too, per se. But Sajit, yeah, very quickly, just before we move on to other things, and we'll talk about banks in detail also. But yeah, I was looking at all the numbers and the con call key takeaways from the IT companies thus far as a single thing, right?
Yeah.
TCS pick up in H2, Q1 softness. HCL Tech growth guidance maintained FY26, but
Pick up in H2.
Tech Mahindra weak Q1 print. Management bullish on sharp rebound from Q2 with large deal wins in the pipeline. LTM entry, fourth one. Deal wins and margin levers point to a strong H2.
Infosys as well, like that.
Infosys. Tata Elxsi management expects H2 revival. Q1 impacted by muted demand and project transitions. LTTS Q1 softness led but strong order book supports H2 growth recovery. Wipro, H2 expected to recover as deal ramp up stabilize. Tata Tech, confident of rebound in Q2 itself and a stronger H2 driven by deal wins. Yeah, I wonder if there is something happening in the ecosystem which the IT companies are seeing, which is making them give a common commentary like this.
Yeah, if you remember last 2 to 3 quarters, we've been talking about the fact that FY26 H2 second half is going to be much better, and we began this thing in what March and April when this entire first time this entire thing of Trump tariff came into being, right? So you look at from September onwards when the Fed went into a pause on interest. After that, committee means by the time, and we've been telling that a pause for Fed means, fall in discretionary deals for IT companies. So it began with fall in discretionary deals. The street and analysts were, I think, behind the curve on that. They were holding up everything that discretionary is going to do that. After the inauguration of Trump, then the tariff thing came into being. Then again, the street has been behind the curve in assuming the impact of it. They say, "Oh, everything is kosher and that's fine." But come April, and that when the things hit, that's when the street is now saying that okay, we are expecting second half to have some kind of recovery. So FY26, I think, is going to be a flat quarter from my point of view. Q1, Q2 almost gone. We all are talking about good recovery happening in Q3 and Q4, and Q3 traditionally is a very soft quarter foreclosures and everything which comes in for all the IT companies. So what are we looking at? Means we're looking at a flat. If IT companies are able to maintain their revenue at the current rate, I'm not even talking about large. I'm talking large IT companies, not the smaller ones. That where each one was growing between 3 to 6% or 7%, which is it. If they're able to maintain the current rate or an revenue and profit and maintain margins, then we have a good FY27 coming in. All this is assuming that tariff uncertainty goes away. That's the thing which is there, and I think every street is now building in that. So when you say that commentary, everyone is talking about Q second half, but then अब फिर जैसे हम second half में आने लगेंगे, they will say, oh, Q3 is a soft quarter, which is going to happen.
Agreed. So difficult.
So,
Okay.
so yes, order booking is happening, which everyone is confirming. There is delay in signing of orders, and then there is delay of order starts, which has been pushed. So you sign the order, and then you wait. Tell them, "Kya abhi ruko, let me get some clarity, and then we will start the order," kind of thing. So I'm sure that this kind of thing will go into third quarter of it, and if at all there is going to be a big revival push, then Q3 is going to be a surprise quarter for everyone. Means by end of this month we have certainty on some of the global events. Hello. Please, sir.
I shall take the middle chair.
Yes, you shall.
Well,
were
you
waiting-
should today because banks are at the center stage of it all.
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about. So Q3, then Niraj, Q3 is going to be one of the biggest surprise quarters in many years. If there is that revenge business which comes into play, that everyone is now starting up and everyone is doing it, then you suddenly see that effect coming into play there.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So, and will banks lead it? Now we do 5 minutes of banks.
Yes.
Only banks.
Yes.
Vishy is here,
Yes.
and then we take questions.
And
So let's do
and we
banks.
will also discuss the Axis Bank saga, which
Yes.
Vishy broke about.
Yeah.
So should we start with Axis Bank and then go to bank earnings?
नहीं ना वो एक्सेस पे बाद में आते हैं, पहले आप
ठीक है.
बैंक करने से बात कर लेते
Yes.
हैं.
ICICI Bank,
HDFC.
HDFC,
Yes,
Bandhan,
yes.
RBL, AU.
So I would say nothing has happened in the quarter that was not already expected. Like we all expected ICICI to outperform everybody else, which ICICI has done. HDFC comes in a close second with a reasonably decent set of numbers. Yeah, उनको अभी भी थोड़ा sort of managing that growth is still a point that is they're working on, but they're working on it, and it's a decent.
Their loan to deposit ratio is still,
so incrementally it's at 90 something percent, but yeah, on the whole book, of course, that still needs to be adjusted. which understandably so. It's not something that you can do overnight.
Yeah.
The other part which is doing well is the part on Yes Bank. So overall, operationally, it's not a great set of numbers. Let me make that clear. But what is happening at Yes Bank, and this is something that Harsha and I were pointing out, that this is a quarter that is showing that there is a turnaround. It's not happened yet, but it's going in that direction.
What are the
So I'll tell you.
green
So
shoots?
operationally, if you see advances and deposits, they've grown below the system. So that's obviously a problem. NPA was not one of their main concerns. So let's leave that aside. ROA accretive business was a problem, which they are working on. They've been working on for some time. Once that starts showing that turnaround, then you will see that improvement on the balance sheet. Net interest margin not shrinking is a big deal. So that was something that happened at Yes Bank, and that's a positive. That they've not seen a major like other banks have. But even though understandably they were on the lower end of the NIM bracket, they were only at 2.5%. Compared to 3.5-4% that other banks have. So these are some positives, but of course, I still believe
So you're
it's
saying that they're holding on to the key metrics part of it?
some of them, not all of them.
Some of them, and that's credible given the kind of scenario we are in, basically, right? In that sense.
RBI have
So
not
cost
seen
controls
growth.
are there. That's why they're holding on.
Most likely because of cost controls, their OPEX has come off. So that's
Yeah.
obviously something that is aiding that NIM improvement.
Yeah.
The two things that have helped them this quarter is because some of the recovery from the NPAs that they sold has helped them. And treasury gains, which has, albeit it's not because the bank has changed anything, but they were in the right deal at the right time. So that obviously
your
helps.
yields have come off. So
Automatically your treasury book has gained in value.
gained in value.
So that's
But give me a sense, not from the the numbers, top line, bottom line numbers, but from a point of view of what the outlook seems to be for various sectors they're lending to. Because credit growth has come down.
Yeah, credit growth has come down primarily because of the retail unsecured bit. I think
Unsecured or secured?
Unsecured. So
Okay.
secured mein theek thak hi hai. Matlab in the sense, don't look at Axis. They were
नहीं,
anyway weak on
ICICI
that
में I
front.
think secured में गिरा है ना?
हाँ, but in the sense, overall outlook doesn't seem to be that problematic.
Okay.
They have been growing fast, ICICI, much faster than the system. That's why this is a little bit of normalization that's happening. That's completely fine. I think overall secured growth-wise, things are looking okay. Unsecured, their expectation is that it will improve going ahead, but don't expect anything before Q3.
Okay.
Q2 maybe you will see that playing out a little bit more, but Q3 onwards you will likely see some kind of an uptick on the unsecured bit, because I think the stress period is over now, or is getting close to getting over, and things will improve. Q1 in any case is a weak quarter operationally, so that is true for all banks, because this is when the business starts. It's a little slow. Things pick up towards the end of Q2. Q3 onwards you will start seeing some amount of growth. So जब वो turn आएगा Q3 में, that's when you will see bank numbers
So
picking up.
red flags on some sectors?
I didn't see anything material as such. I mean, apart from slowdown to hai general, like I think CV was one of those, commercial vehicles,
which is standing out across banks.
Across banks, yeah. But commercial vehicles has been a pain point for a very long time. This is not something that started now. It's been
at one point in time, Niraj, we used to track commercial vehicles for pickup in capex. Especially mining and others, in सब के लिए देखते हैं. Now CVs, if CV is a slowdown which is there, then these sectors are going to be showing some kind of slowdown which is coming in.
So I mean, construction sector to वैसे भी in the sense, see, if you were to look at the GDP numbers, now construction had seen a pickup in Q4, but Q1 is generally slow.
So
because monsoon आता है, काम नहीं होता है, all of these things, and order, by the time the cycle of giving orders starts, it's mid of Q2. So these things all play out over the course of the year. It's not something that's consistent with Q1. I think what is happening in banks is consistent with what is happening in the economy. There's nothing materially off about it.
So aside of CV, there's no other.
I didn't see anything material anywhere else.
And consumer credit or home loan mortgages.
So mortgages तो वैसे भी slow ही चल रहा है काफी time से.
Why is that actually? That's a very interesting. The interest rate कम हो रहे हैं last 2-3 quarters से, and almost we are at if you look at the cycle, we are at least multi-year lows in terms.
I think what is not adding up is the inventory on sale right now. The inventory on sale is very high-end inventory, which in any case has very slow pickup. When you're talking about mid-income or lower income households, वहाँ पे I don't think materially your incomes have gone up your this thing has gone up so that you can go and afford a house right now.
Okay.
So there is that gap that is there. People are not borrowing as much as they want to borrow or want to build a house right now, at least as of Q1. I personally think wo baad mein, in a few months it'll start showing up because the rate cuts have just happened. So थोड़े time में आएगा वो उसको अभी.
And you expect all the banks to show stabilization in NIMs
by Q3.
by Q3.
The SBI has already said this in our interview very clearly. All the bank commentary seems to suggest that Q2 tak you will see some amount of NIM compression.
So how do you see FY26 as for the top 4 or 5 banks going, right?
We move on to other things after this.
Yes.
Follow. But
I think
questions.
I think ठीक ठाक ही है. मतलब see FY26 was never expected to be like a blockbuster year for banks in any case because of the rate cycle changing. So you were likely to see some amount of compression in business, which is showing up now.
We are on banks, so there's a question. Sorry, there's a question which says that Hemant Nagar Goje is saying that IndusInd Bank remains a high risk, high reward contrarian play, appealing primarily to investors betting on a turnaround potential. What's the view on that, Vishy? I don't think Vishy can give a view on the stock. But business, Vishy?
Business wise, nothing has happened in the bank. The fact is that Q4 के बाद से, and since Q4 results के बाद से, nothing materially has changed except business has shrunk. I mean, so again, the bank is currently running on the basis of a committee. There are 2 executives who are currently running the bank. Banks don't run with 2 executives. It doesn't work like that. You need one person to take that call because a bank by nature has to have some amount of vision, have to have some amount of risk taking, has to have some amount of thoda brave business decisions, which a committee cannot.
They're on a defensive basically.
Right now, all they're doing is ensuring that the bank is still running and it doesn't shut down.
There's a stability and a continuity which is going on.
So coming to the operational strength of the bank, I don't think there has ever been, in this entire saga, there has never been a question of whether the bank will be able to sustain itself or not. The bank is able to sustain itself. Whether it's able to grow is a different question. That is something that the new CEO will have to come and figure out. Yeah.
Let's talk about Axis Bank. You remember we were talking last time and he said, अरे ये तो already factored in.
मैंने बोला ये.
नहीं हाँ ये नहीं तुमने बोला था कि
we spoke about it on Friday with him extensively.
Exactly.
I said that these are already rules in place.
People need to give likes for us to take questions. So please.
So the important bit is, at that point in time, the bank had very clearly said that we were not prompted by the RBI. Now, what we're learning from our sources is that the RBI actually did prompt them, nudge them, because they were taking a slightly more liberal view of how rules should be implemented. And RBI said, a rule is a rule. You can't be liberal or conservative in that. You just follow as it is. It has to be something known as straight through processing, which is that there is a machine which has certain parameters, and if an account meets those parameters and the account is an NPA, if it doesn't, it's a standard account. That has to be a scientific
and
thing.
I was asking this question to you.
There is no
evergreening कुछ हो रहा है क्या?
नहीं, so I said that evergreening is a criminal thing. I can't allege that, but I can tell you with some certainty that the RBI has found that the norms were not great and that they needed to be tightened. They were given time till 30th of June to do that. They've done it. Now the RBI will review it during this quarter as part of their supervisory.
So do you think more of that is going to come out?
Other banks?
No, in other banks as well as in Axis.
No, so I don't think Axis. I mean, I don't think the situation in Axis was so bad that more will come out later. I think right now they've done what they've done because the RBI has asked them to do it, and
have they followed the red line, or they're still saying that
the RBI
go as close to the red line?
That the RBI will pass the judgment during this quarter when they do their annual review.
So Q2 is also going to be something
to watch out for.
Watch out for, right?
Watch
in
out
that
for.
sense.
Yes, we will watch out for any material jump. Other banks, there might be some other issues that might come up because what I'm learning from sources is that RBI is very clear. Do not interpret, do not have, oh, what if this, what if that kind of an approach to NPA classification. It's black and white. Keep it at that.
Follow the spirit of the law. Simple
Spirit and the letter. Dono.
Simple as that.
Yeah, you can go for the other questions.
No, the other thing was just this JSW
Reliance,
Steel. I just thought
JSW was
JSW
good.
very quickly was a good set of numbers. The only thing is, I think when I spoke to the company, they said that June saw a bit of a dip in prices, and that dip in prices has continued in July. So what holds true for JSW would hold true for the other steel companies as well. So metals are seeing a bit of a stress. Part one, a lot of expectations around when China, how much does China stimulus continue and does it bring about a revival in demand? अभी तक हुआ नहीं,
But China
unfortunately.
GDP is is
सब
been
कुछ
pushed
हो
up
रहा है, but they are doing the consumer side, Sajeet, this time. They are reviving the GDP
through
growth
consumer
through consumerism
spending and
and not capex. So
Capex.
therefore, don't quite know if the steel revival or metals revival takes place through China. So just that little bit on JSW, but the results were good. Just that I think the city note was right. I mean, it's a great company doing amazing work. भाव से थोड़ा महंगा है, priced in. Reliance फटाफट.
Reliance, I thought numbers are very muted. What is means? I think Reliance has this knack of how to use the cycles in some way, because globally, if your cycles are down, they go and say, okay, I want to do a plant shutdown and I'll do my repairs then, because then anyway, so my capacity is going to be lower, so I will use that time to repair and refix everything which is there. So that's what happened in O2C. The cycle is lower, so they use that cycle well. As a result of which, O2C numbers are muted, which is there. Retail has been again muted. EBITDA has fallen, and the top line is also flattish for them on a quarter to quarter basis. Geo, I expected a little more better ARPUs from Geo, because last year we saw the price hikes, and I thought 4 quarters would have helped them increase the ARPUs much better, because the entire cycle would have played out by then. But again, ARPUs has been 208.8, which is flattish kind of thing, which is there on a quarter to quarter basis, which has come in. So there, what is interesting now is the demerger of Reliance Consumer Products. Now they're demerging it entirely from Reliance Retail and through a scheme, and then this company becomes the subsidiary of Reliance Industry.
Okay.
And if things are, this is my view, okay, it's not the street view that people are thinking an IPO will come. My problem with that is that the moment you bring in IPOs for your subsidiaries, you become a holding company, and then you start getting a discount of valuation, which is there. They may do the same thing with what they did with the financial services business, where they said, okay, we'll distribute it with all the shareholders. In that sense. So the consumer product business, which is today on a quarterly basis around 4,400 crores in top line, my sense is, because a lot of investments and everything has gone into it, it may not be a profit making one, or marginal profit making and low margin business which is there. They will remove that from retail, and then retail metrics starts showing
up better.
Because for before an IPO they need to do
No,
that
but the contribution to the console will be lesser.
7 to 8% of top line. Means we saw what roughly around third कितना था, मतलब 4.5 60,000 crores का कुछ था उसका टॉप, 55,000 crores का कुछ था, और 4,400 crores. So 7 to 8% of the top line is consumer goods.
Okay.
Sorry, consumer products, which include all your campus and everything in the thing. Now, another way of looking at it is Niraj, that we have Varun and others who have into this similar right on for Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah.
If they are getting that kind of valuation, then Reliance Consumer Products should also be getting the same kind of valuation, or closer by a little bit आगे पीछे. Simple as. Plus it's an FMCG business as well, which is there. So that's what is the plan which seems to be there. I'm not sure whether IPO आएगा या demerger होगा. And if you ask an analyst, he will say that कि भाई demerger होगा तो means it's better 1:1. Then then wealth gets created, and then you can build that business, and you can get your own investors into this, because then it comes to you as a subsidy, and आप कर सकते हो. तो उस केस में क्या है कि promoters को भी अपना stake मिल जाता है, और shareholders को भी अपना stake मिल जाता है. But this process will take at least a end of the year or something. एंड उसके बाद वो 1:1 होगा, तो 1-1.5 साल उसमें लगेगा. तो IPO अगर मेरे हिसाब से अगर देखा जाए, तो IPO विल टेक एटलीस्ट 27-28 में रिलायंस जियो का रिलायंस रिटेल का IPO आएगा, अगर आना है. उससे पहले जियो आता है तो दूसरी बात है.
चलो, एंड ऑफ स्टोरी था फिलहाल तो.
And but the main thing is the forthcoming AGM. अगस्त में AGM होगा. So that's something which again will build up some
We'll
kind
watch
of
out for, yeah.
I mean some kind of वो आएगा उसमें
Indication.
I want to point out something though. But anything else with regards to Reliance, Sajeet?
No, these are the key things to look at. What do you want to point out? कुछ नया है?
नहीं,
Interesting?
हाँ, interesting to 100%. But so I was just looking, right? It was It was 1320 rupees. 22nd October 2021. It is 1434. 4 साल में और पौने 4 साल में 100 रुपया बढ़ा है स्टॉक.
अरे नहीं, ये गलत देर. जेएफएस का आपने देखा
Which
नहीं
में
है.
split हुआ ना.
That's true.
लोग
जेएफएस मिल गया.
जेएफएस मिला ना आप सबको. एक लाख करोड़ का कंपनी है.
आपको मिला सर.
मैं तो शेयर होल्डर नहीं. आपको मतलब इन्वेस्टर्स को मिला ना जेएफएस.
बराबर.
That's true.
तो वो अमाउंट 200 रुपए का अमाउंट लेके चलो ना उसका.
चलो 200 वो ऐड कर लो. 200 वो ऐड कर लो.
300.
But over 4 years, that's what's the return? That's like a 20% return over 4 years.
और बीच में
वो तो निफ्टी ने दे दिया है.
नहीं, एक बोनस भी है ना बीच में.
नहीं भाई,
रिलायंस का.
ये बोनस एडजस्टेड बोल रहा हूँ मैं सजीत.
अच्छा, बोनस एडजस्टेड बोल रहे थे. हाँ ठीक है.
उतनी बड़ी गलती तो नहीं.
नहीं but
जेएफएस चलो मानता हूँ.
नहीं, जेएफएस आया है. ड्यू क्रेडिट.
No, it's just unfortunately
but
in that COVID period when they got Facebook and Google etc. The stock was on a rampage. From there it's
that's वहाँ पर I think they didn't. I didn't think they saw the cycle coming in there when the entire thing was happening at that time, when Facebook, Google, you had Qatar, PIF all coming and investing in the thing, and they're talking about how petchem capex was coming to an end at that time, and how it will create a kind of cash flows which is there, self-sustaining. The cycle has gone down. And because of that, the cash flow cycle has gone down. So if you look at 4 years back का Reliance का report, सेम ब्रोकरेज जो आज ये कर रहे हैं ना, उस समय उन्होंने बोला था कि अरे क्या कैश फ्लो आने वाला है. वो कैश फ्लो अभी नहीं आ रहा है. कहाँ है वो कैश फ्लो?
that's true.
सो कैश फ्लो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि कैश फ्लो नहीं है, पर अभी भी आज के डेट में ब्रेड एंड बटर ओटीसी है. सिंपल एज दैट. बट वो द एक्सपेक्टेड कैश फ्लो इज नॉट देयर. और वैसे भी इफ यू लुक एट इट, आई थिंक सिंस मार्च इट इज गॉन अप बाय 25%.
Yeah. But no.
देखो,
Cash flow या stock?
नहीं, स्टॉक की बात कर रहा हूँ. देखो जरा, बिकॉज मैं मैक्वारी का देख रहा था, उसमें मैक्वारी के रिपोर्ट में लिखा था कि इट्स गॉन अप 25%.
हाँ ठीक है. 1220 वाला 1435. 2000. So अब भैया वो तो निफ्टी भी के 25% कैसे हुआ? हाँ चलो मोटा.
अराउंड 20-25%. I'm just I was reading that report इसमें. तो इसलिए there won't be much of a movement in Reliance because already वो run up हो चुका है.
Okay.
ठीक है.
Fair enough.
Okay, so questions now. Boring self-discipline. Nice one. If you are indeed boring investor, then it's actually pretty good. QSR space seems to be turning around. Is this a good entry point? What's the take on Devyani post its biryani by kilo acquisition? Well, yeah. Is the space turning around? It certainly seems like that because it's had a very long cycle of virtually no performance. Fundamental performance not looking strong. Is that cycle turning? Presumably, yes.
I think consumers are now going back. I think and eating out more. I think हो रहा है वो थोड़ा बहुत. So,
नहीं, मुझे लग रहा है वो थोड़ा digest भी हो गया सजीत, वो दूसरा वाला, which is that I think there's a lot of intense competition by private labels.
Yes.
Do you have a sister?
Yeah, I do.
अच्छा, you do.
Younger sister.
Do you have a भाभी?
Yeah.
अच्छा, सजीत, you don't have a sister, right?
No.
हाँ. So सजीत की बहन ने एक पिज्जा का क्लाउड किचन लगा दिया. वो Zomato पे आ गया. And if she's got a series of 3 or 4 cloud kitchens, which is branded on Zomato as a whatever, pizzas by S, for example, and it becomes famous and really gets in big deal. There's this small brand called Mimi's. Does cakes and pastries research in the Bandra area.
Ice cream. Yeah.
Somebody, I haven't checked this, verified this, but somebody told me on dinner on Saturday that Mimi's was sold out for 250 crore rupees.
Yeah.
This was a homegrown brand. So a lot of these homegrown brands have eaten into the share.
Just interestingly, by the way, over the weekend there was a press note that was shared by this company called Burger Singh.
Burger Singh.
So basically, a news report आया था कि they have raised 47 crore. And this was a statement that they put out saying that we have not.
This is the one MCA.
Yeah, but एकदम बहुत ही amazing. बोल रहा है कि we are flattered truly, but unfortunately and quite factually that's not true, not yet at least. करके बहुत बढ़िया statement है. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's available online. वो बोलता है कि आप थोड़ा जल्दी you jumped the gun and reported it. But we have not received any money yet. We would love to get that 47 crore, but we don't have it yet. So since this topic of
It's a
QSR
enabling
and money raising,
provision which has been put on MCA
Yes.
and
that they will raise it. That's about it. Huh.
Okay, Shrikar Reddy is wanting the views on India Cement results post Ultratech. Weak quarter, but cement seems
India
to be.
Cement will take some time. I think it will be a drag for Ultratech. India Cement.
India में मुझे याद नहीं है, ऐसा पूछ रहा हूँ. Is swap decided already? Is there a swap?
They're not swap ना.
They are not merging it.
नहीं merging अभी तो acquire किया ना उन्होंने.
हाँ, but वो कुछ कर रहे हैं.
वो आगे होगा. But वो अभी turnaround नहीं हुआ है ना अभी तक. वो तो, but it's still a drag. It was not profitable if I'm not wrong. And consolidated Ultratech में वो impact आएगा मेरे.
Yeah. Okay, this is a question that I'd love to answer. Shrikar Reddy is asking, how much should the weightage of a particular sector be in one's portfolio? Banking has more than 50% weightage in my portfolio. So Shrikar, two things. So I would describe it differently. One, at a given point of time, if you can identify the banking cycle, by all means do it if you are a high risk investor. Typically, investors spread out the risk so that अगर कहीं पे चला नहीं, so a large portion of your portfolio doesn't get hit. But I truly believe that right now is also not the cycle time to have such a large exposure to banking. मतलब अगर आपने बोला था कि आपके पास NBFCs में है, I'm not saying that's right, but at least there is an argument to be made कि शायद cycle turn हुआ because RBI has done so much of it. तो you're a high risk investor आपने किया है. As Vishy said, FY26 is not supposed to be an exceptional year for them. So why have 50% in such a sector? So ideally you shouldn't have 50% in a sector. Split it up, 10%, etc.
What is the prudential guidelines जो म्यूचुअल फंड करते थे कि 10% या 50%?
But sir, वो म्यूचुअल फंड के लिए ठीक है ना?
नहीं,
individual investors तो
वहाँ पर भी तो पब्लिक मनी देखते हैं ना?
No, but this depends on individuals' risk appetite.
I'm just saying that be conservative in it. Simple.
नहीं, sir. Sorry, I differ with that only because a mutual fund on a base of an AUM of 6, 10, 15,000 crores is happy with 11%. आप अगर invest कर रहे हो 1 लाख से 1 करोड़ रुपए तक का पोर्टफोलियो है, अगर 11% कंपाउंड करोगे कहाँ पहुंचोगे? तो उससे अच्छा आप उससे अच्छा म्यूचुअल फंड करो ना.
I was reading an article of Nikhil Kamath. He comes out with newsletters. Position sizing means, so you all have to do that kind of. He has to do that kind of thing. कि भाई रिस्क कितना ले सकते हो, अगर तुमको मालूम नहीं है तो रिस्क मत लो, तुम्हारा पोर्टफोलियो निकल जाएगा. And if you know, then you double up. But at this point in time, I think there is too much of cloud which is there in some of the sectors like banking, because we don't know how it's going to play out.
But मतलब honestly मुझे नहीं लगता बैंकिंग में क्लाउड है.
So I don't think growth. I don't think stability is a question. That is not the question. Growth की बात है. आपको वो डेल्टा नहीं मिल रहा है.
नहीं, I'm not talking about the metrics, I'm not talking operation, nothing of that sort. I'm talking the growth कि कितना grow करेगा.
वो अभी फिलहाल मतलब in the sense it's at a stage where it's too early to call.
Yeah, but the last point here, some very marquee investors who don't invest like a mutual fund but are willing to take risks, वो लोग at times they go up to 15% of a particular stock in a portfolio. उससे ज़्यादा कोई नहीं. हाँ, वही. So just a thought.
So that's why I said कि 10-15% जो prudential वो है.
मैं स्टॉक की बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ, स्टॉक की बात
शायद थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो सकता है.
Nuvoco Vista.
Very good number.
शशांक 4 है.
अच्छा था numbers.
क्या लग रहा है? वो
मैं उसका कॉन-कॉल टेकअवे दिया. Shucks, I don't have it right now. But the कॉन-कॉल takeaways were very strong. Both Nuvoco Vistas as well as JK. So cement is bringing a surprise. Both of them are saying quarter 2 also will be good. In a monsoon quarter, the guidance is positive, which is amazing. So yeah, good one. City has an upgrade today, by the way.
Yes.
है ना?
Yes.
आप ही ने नोट भेजा था मुझे.
मैंने भेजा था. हाँ. Rijul Garg, is it worse for US if
Sajeet,
India?
last 2 questions.
Yeah. Is it worse for US if India just gets a letter about tariff, because Trump will have failed to get any significant deal?
यार मुझे लगता है कि कैसी भी डील होगी, Trump will tout it as a good one. So let's wait for that.
Laurus Lab is trading at forward P of 76. Is it justified? Vigin Dharan.
Yeah, Vigin. So somebody that I have good regard for in the pharma space recently put out this thing also that even price to sales ratios etc. are very expensive. Well, forward P of 70 is dramatically expensive. I was just saying, we were speaking to Vineet Bolinchkar, who I think said that their EBITDA for FY26, their estimates are that EBITDA will grow 82%. So अगर 82% ग्रो करता है तो 140 ट्रेलिंग 12 पी वाला फॉरवर्ड पी 79-80 हो जाएगा, 75 हो जाएगा, जो भी हो जाएगा. एंड देन इफ दे गाइड टू सिमिलर ग्रोथ, then the market will reward it. So I think that's what's happening. But is it expensive? It's egregiously expensive.
Final question from Suraj Jain. IPO market is coming back, so valuation is getting higher.
हाँ, but listings में इतना fanfare दिख नहीं रहा है
नहीं
अभी.
दिख रहा है ना?
It's like
आज क्या हुआ Anthem
25
में?
टका, 28 टका.
28%, हाँ.
Not bad.
Yeah.
But I'm saying now we are used to such bad
हाँ,
listings.
बराबर,
28
बराबर.
भी ठीक
हाँ,
है.
28
आजकल
Last year
28
तो
muted listing कहते हैं हम.
last year वाला तो like 50-60% होता था.
हाँ.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
So I think it's very but then you have Tata Chemical Tata Capital, which is coming out in next 30 days. You have Brigade, which is a Marriott run which runs Marriott and Intercontinental and Accor. It's opening this week, and then there is a couple of more which are there.
Hot IPO.
And a lot of money coming there.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yes,
See you guys. Take care.
take care.
See you tomorrow.